music industry is kind of like a high school. I've been sitting at the cool kids table for a little bit now. Felt a little too personal to even play my girlfriend at that time. She was like, hey, yo, we good. Like.
What's going on, guys? I'm Mia Bell, and we're back with another episode of BET Talks, and I'm super excited because one of my favorites is in the building, okay? I'm talking singer, songwriter, producer, actor, man of many plans and talents. Leon Thomas, what's going on?
What's good? How you feeling, Mia?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about you and the vocals, okay? You done brought me through in so many different ways, but you've done so many different things.
Thanks.
And we're going to talk about it all today.
I really appreciate that. Thanks for listening.
Me and the team, we're coming up with questions, fun trivia questions, a would you rather game.
Okay, I like that.
And while we were doing so, we're like, where do we go with this guy? Because he just knows so much, and you've dabbled in so many different genres, and it makes us curious. So,
okay, cool.
Would you rather act in a TV series or a feature film?
TV series.
And why?
When you're doing a television show, you actually get to build a community, and it's like the closest thing to having like a 9-to-5 in the entertainment industry. You really get to know everybody, and it's such an amazing process. I really enjoyed doing 4 seasons of Victorious on Nickelodeon. And
Nickelodeon? What?
No,
was that your favorite show to work on?
Absolutely. I mean, that was pretty much like my last 2 years of high school. So yeah, we really created a very strong bond, and to this day, you know, hit each other up when we're doing successful things.
What about music by Luther Vandross or Billy Porter?
You know, I think I'm definitely gonna rock with Luther. I feel like Luther. The way he used to really tell a story, I think, was very beautiful. A lot of people didn't know that a lot of the songs that he was famous for were covers and songs that he didn't write himself, but you could never tell because he's such an amazing storyteller.
This one might trip you up a little bit. James Baldwin or Black Thought?
I'm going James Baldwin.
Yeah,
for sure.
These are different type of storytellers.
Absolutely. Love Black Thought, by the way. Love Black Thought.
But James Baldwin gonna tell you something for real.
Just an amazing creative and you know, just activist, if you really think about it. I think being a gay black man at that time period and being so out about that was very, very, very important. Just for our people to be able to be free.
I should say James Baldwin or Maya Angelou.
Yeah. That would have been a better one.
Yeah, you still going James Baldwin?
That's actually tough.
Yeah.
I think Maya. Yeah, I mean, you know, as a songwriter myself, you know, and I think you need to have elements of poetry in what you do. She just has so many lines that are still so potent to this day.
Now, that brings me to just your process in making music and really being able to dig deep into your sound and those feelings.
I'm a little sensitive, it's like, but
a little sensitive, a little toxic too, if you want to go there.
Yeah, you know, but you gotta have balance, you know. I think it's really important for me in the age of podcast mics and social media and constant conversations about relationships and, you know, the push and pull about who's doing the wrong thing or the right thing. I think it's good to document this and hold up a mirror to society. A lot of these stories are some of my own, and then also just me like examining culture. You know, some of the toxic things have nothing to do with my life. Some of it's
we blaming Busy.
I ain't gonna lie, my boy Busy been going through it in Miami. But it's fun putting these records together because I think I kind of look at songwriting almost like is, you know, a script and a score, and those lyrics are the script. But you gotta have some drama.
Yeah, and that's what makes your journey so cool, because the way you're explaining your process in music just shows that it goes back to acting. It goes back to Broadway. It goes back to, you know, producing and writing for other artists too. And the way that you've been able to make it your own and have this completely different sound. Chef's kiss, man.
Why, thank you. I mean, I've had the pleasure of being around some of the best world builders in the world right now. Just to be able to be a fly on the wall, to see Ye build his worlds or Drake build his worlds has been like so cool. And I mean, being signed to Ty Dolla $ign, I'm like around so much creativity.
Right.
And I'm just taking notes, you know, silently, just like really like, you know, putting together how I want to really put together my own personal world.
Now, before the cameras cut on, we were talking about childhood and how you grew up and how important it is when parents pour into their kids and really allow them to have the fun that they want to have.
I had a tribe around me that really catered towards the different sides that I needed to become the man that I am today. But specifically talking about music, my parents ran a independent record label out of our living room.
What was it called?
Platinum Records. So they signed a rapper, and I was able to watch them like go from the beginning of an album to putting it out, and just to be around that from, I want to say, age 5 to 10 was really influential for just even how I view making music today.
Now, you were Simba in Lion King?
That was my first ever gig and my first audition.
Which is crazy, by the way. You
know
that, right?
Yeah, it was kind of nuts.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's not every day you just go from being a regular kid to starring on Broadway. But yeah, it was a vibe.
Who really told you or taught you to use your vocal ability in that way?
My mom is a singer and also a vocal coach.
Okay.
My grandfather is also an opera singer.
See?
So it's like they kind of rallied around me once they figured out I could sing. But it's interesting when your parents are really good at something, like you kind of don't want to do it. Like, so like when I was younger, I just wanted to be a drummer and a stuntman. When I got the audition for Lion King, I kind of started showing my mom I could sing a little bit, and she was really surprised and was very just easy with me. There was never any like Joe Jackson vibes. It was just like real. It was a real vibey, man. My mom just made sure that like I felt comfortable and like it felt like a game. It felt like fun.
Usually it's tough for especially child actors and people in that lane to then transition into music and have their own category, you know?
I understand.
And you've done it gracefully.
Thank you.
So the process in that with songwriting, producing for others, how did that happen?
It's interesting. Around 17 years old, I read this book called Mastery by Robert Greene.
Okay.
And it talks about like being an apprentice and like finding like a master in the field to study under. So I was kind of like frolicking through LA trying to find like the master of R&B, and I ended up getting set up in a session with the legendary Babyface.
Wow.
And he really took me in. It just became like a bit of a side quest. It was like a really cool opportunity to have consistency of work. It felt like a 9 to 5. I had my laptop, my briefcase. I would go to the studio like probably like 5 times a week, and we would cook up songs. And I mean, my network around that time was really tight because I knew like a young Ariana Grande doing her first album. So I threw a party at the studio. Next thing you know, we're like producing half of like her first album, which was really amazing. All the while I was like doing acting as well. So even when I was like auditioning for Insecure, I was working with Dreezy the night before that audition. So I'm running from like one side of the studio to study lines. I'm like in the mirror studying lines, running all the way back to be like, hey, Dreezy, do another take. You know, going back and forth just to try to like kind of balance both worlds. It was a business that really helped me flow through some of the slow seasons in acting, because you know there's only probably about like 10 to 15 roles for you know, black actors, male black actors every year, and then about 7 of those are drug dealers. I don't really like have the vibe for that sometimes. So like, you know, I got like about 7 roles if I'm really trying to eat every year, you know. So what I'm building though is really special because, like I said, brick by brick, I'm trying to build a world that people can travel to, and I think that's gonna come in the, you know, form of films, more albums, but I want more ownership and more IP that's my own, and that's why I'm so focused on writing right now and building my catalog and being the artist that I am.
Now, throughout your entire career, I know you've seen a lot of beautiful things and some scary things. So I know Hollywood could be a little weird.
Yeah, a little Hollywood. Yeah.
What are some things that you looked at and said, oh yeah, I'm definitely not doing that, or I'm not touching that?
You know, listen, I think the work hard, play hard mentality can be either helpful for some people as a release or the key to their demise, you know? So there's just certain things I don't touch, you know, we ain't gonna get into all of that, but I think it's really important that I keep a level head. So meditation, staying healthy, the name of the game is balance, you know, finding my person. Like I'm seeing other people who may be in their 40s without their person, no kids, all they have is the millions to show for a lot of their work. And I think for me, I want more of a balanced spiritual, financial, and love life to kind of like tie it all together.
Well, speaking of love life and the music that you make,
yes, ma'am.
Mr. Toxic sometimes.
Toxic sometimes.
Sometimes.
You know what I mean? Here and there.
Right. Now we have Genesis.
Yeah.
We have Electric Dust. Crash and Burn.
Yeah.
That is me all the way. I seen you perform at the Blonde.
Yeah.
And it was just such a moment because that is my song.
I love that.
Yes. When it comes to really laying your heart out on these tracks.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
So Crash and Burn, it was just one of those records that felt a little too personal to even play my girlfriend at that time.
I was like,
she was like, "Hey, yo, we good?" Like,
like, hold on, did I miss
But no,
something?
it's just art. It's just art, and I feel like because I'm an actor, I can like play the role, kind of like just dig into that feeling. But to be real, like there was certain elements of it that I could identify with, and there's a reason why we're not together now.
Well, sis, you heard it here first. When it comes to Mutt.
Yeah.
Why did you name it that, Leon?
Nah, listen. So this is it's a real artsy story, but bear with me. So
please.
My dog is fighting with my cat, and my cat slapped him, and then he makes this face, and I'm seeing myself in him at that moment. It kind of felt like a representation of like what I was going through in a lot of situationships where there's like a girl who's trying to get me to lock it down and act right and be the one, sit boy, down boy. And it's like in that moment I felt like it made perfect sense to name the album Mutt because that's a great metaphor for just I think a lot of men right now trying to find their person. Maybe not doing the right thing, plenty of distractions from social media to dating apps, and I think it was a good way to just tie it all in.
Shouts to your dog. What is his name?
His name is Terry.
I want to hear about where you were in your life for you to be able to give us such great content and concepts, features.
The music industry is kind of like a high school. I've been sitting at the cool kids table for a little bit now. I've been going to all the cool kid parties. I'm like meeting everybody. I'm a part of the community. They're seeing me all the time. And I feel like the features are just a representation of real relationships I have. I mean, like, I'll go to Wale's crib just to watch, like...
Favorite on the joint.
Yo, I'll go to his crib just to watch the game and kick it, and then we might make a record, you know what I'm saying? Just
feelings on silent.
Yeah. This was a representation of real relationships turning into, conversations that then turned into songs, and that's why they feel so natural and vibey. This also came from, me breaking up with a long-term girlfriend and taking the time to find myself. I went on a real journey, a real journey of like, who am I? I'm making music now, but I have to know myself better. And I did a lot of that work through meditation, prayer.
Any
like
therapy?
Really, no, but music is my therapy. I feel like music is a great outlet for me to be able to dump my emotions into a record like Feelings on Silent.
Yeah.
Or, there's a bunch of them on the album. Or even like I Do, which is like just a manifestation for wanting to marry somebody someday, like wanting to be like find my person.
Yeah, and you did say that is something that you want to do.
Oh, for sure.
What are some of your favorite songs to perform now that you're on tour? And like, what are the people reacting to the most?
Yes, it is. It's getting love when I perform. All the iPhones go up. It's a little freaky, so the girls are vibing. They vibing with me. Last night they threw a brawl stage.
Really?
Hold on. But it's really cool to feel the energy of these crowds. Like, I'm not in like super big like arenas or anything. I'm doing like 500 cap, 600 cap venues, so I can see eyes. I can see people dancing. I can really feel the audience, and it's a beautiful experience. And Sneak is another freaky ass song, but it's a vibe. You know what I mean? And I got a little drum solo. Like it's cool, and people like that.
Now, you mentioned throughout our entire conversation how you learned so much from other artists too, and legendary artists. Now, I want to see and hear lessons and just some cool things that you picked up that really stick to who that person is, like Babyface, for example.
Babyface, it's a prime example of executive / musician.
Yes.
And, for me, seeing him do meetings with Wendy Goldstein, who's running, Universal, at the same time he's writing a record with us, let me know, like, he puts a suit on sometimes to make sure that everything that he's doing is structured and that he's like in, a position of leverage. I'll say for Ty Dolla $ign, it's like the importance of brand. One of the things he told me was like, you gotta have like that kind of like cartoon character aspect of you.
Yeah.
So that like for every Evolution album to album, people can kind of follow along to a silhouette that is yours visually,
And what would you say yours is? I'll say the hair.
Yeah, the hair. Like the red hair is like a really big thing. I go through 2 different looks, from the scarf to the backwards fitted.
Yes.
And then, sometimes I've been going baggy. Sometimes I've been doing just like, different looks. But it's been really fun kind of getting into fashion and like even being around Ye, seeing his process from album to album as a fan, and then to be a part of the creation of Vultures 1 and 2. And what I learned around him was just like team, like music is a team sport.
Yeah.
I mean, having a tribe of people, a circle of belief around you that kind of helps make your wild ideas a reality is extremely important and imperative for you to be able to scale and grow at a good rate.
And you know what all of this tells me about you is that these artists see all of the work that you're doing and trust it, and also really, know that you're a great.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
BET Talks, Leon Thomas, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank
This was a vibe. This was fun.